This is part 3 of our Introduction to Cooperatives. As always, I'm going to give a shout out to the Tennessee Council of Cooperatives and thank them for sponsoring these videos. And I am Dr. Justin Gardner with MTSU's School of Agribusiness and Agriscience. Let's get rolling. Cooperatives have their own terminology and language. Today we're going to cover the most important terms that you need to know about cooperatives. The first buzzword, cooperative buzzword, is member. A member is a person or possibly some other business like some other cooperative that has invested in the cooperative. And when you make an investment, that gives you the right to own something. So the member is the owner of the cooperative. Members have the right to control the cooperative through voting. A patron is a person or business that uses the cooperative. I'll give you an example of a business that uses a cooperative. Well, not even a business. Here at Middle Tennessee State University, we have our own dairy herd, and we sell our milk to a cooperative. That cooperative buys our milk from us and processes it and markets it on our behalf, and will return any profits from our milk back to us. So we are a patron of the Maryland, Virginia Dairy Cooperative. If you buy feed from the Wilson Farmers Cooperative, you're their patron. If you sell grapes to the Sun-Maid Raisin Cooperative, you are their patron. Now there's a very unique relationship between patrons and members. In a perfect world, all patrons of a cooperative would be members of their cooperative, and all members of that cooperative would also be patrons. Patrons are expected to make an investment in the cooperative and become a member. The problem is some members don't use the cooperative. Perhaps they used it in the past but don't use it currently, and some patrons are not members of the cooperative. And a well-managed cooperative will have a plan in place that will gradually move it to the ideal state where patrons invest in the cooperative so that the patron can become a member. Cooperatives ideally should operate at cost. This is known as the business at cost principle. If the cooperative earns a profit, that profit should be turned back to its patrons. This returned profit is known as a patronage refund. And whenever I tell people about cooperatives, this is the part where people stop me and they say, wait a second, how's that going to work? If the cooperative turns all of its profit back to its patrons, how will it have enough money to grow and to expand? And one answer to that question is that it's very common for cooperatives to retain the patronage refund. We call that a retained patronage refund. What the cooperative does is it considers that retained refund to be an investment in the cooperative, and that retained refund becomes allocated equity. That is equity in the cooperative that has been allocated to a specific member, meaning it has that member's name on it, and one day in the future that member can get that equity back. And this is the second place where people stop me when I tell them about cooperatives, and they say to me, that is crazy. But actually it's not. What we have to remember is that the patron is supposed to provide funding, to provide equity for the cooperative. And if the patron doesn't support that cooperative by doing business with the cooperative and providing the equity the cooperative needs to operate, the cooperative will fail. And remember that the patron is going to get benefits from this cooperative. It will get profits turned back to them, or it might benefit from many other ways. The patronage refund is just one benefit from being a member of a cooperative. If our cooperative needs equity to grow, it is the patron's responsibility to provide it. And the retained refunds are used to ensure the link between patronage and membership. While we're on the topic of voting, we should remember that members control the cooperative by voting on major business changes and on the board of directors. All corporations will have board of directors, and the board of directors delegate the business operations to managers in the cooperative. I do believe this is my last slide. A lot of very confusing stuff in this slide dealing with patronage refunds, but as you watch more videos, this will start to make more sense. Thank you very much for watching. More videos will be popping up soon.